Dwight has transformed Mitch, Grace, and Fred into the mood to listen to his lecture. Musso cannot accomplish any problem. In Tulsa King Season 2's conclusion, Dwight teamed up with Bill to defeat Chicky, who had been the source of his business. Decided it was time to resign and cut his losses. He just walked away after giving Dwight his marijuana business. However, and he has every right to choose which offers to take and which to turn down. Ray is clearly offended by Dwight's position, but before he can move back to Tulsa. As they catch up, Cleo tells him that because business hasn't been booming lately, her father, Theo, wants to sell. Moves to Bread $2 Saloon, where Dwight meets up with his entire crew. Margaret is also present, and she wants to carry on the discussion that Dwight interrupted abruptly earlier. This makes him clearly state that he believes things are going to turn ugly because of the FBI and Ray's participation. He wants Margaret to avoid this whole situation as much as possible since he doesn't want her to get harmed in the crossfire. However, Margaret is adamant about sticking with him no matter what, and it appears like Dwight has little choice but to accept her choice. After they finish talking, Mitch arrives, expressing his dissatisfaction with his work as a vehicle salesperson. Jeremiah eventually hears Mitch mention Cleo and the distillery her father is selling. Mitch obviously wants Dwight to purchase. Explained, did Jeremiah kill Theo? We see Dwight, Cleo, and Mitch sitting down to talk with Theo about his distillery, estate, and legacy at the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 1. It's very clear that Jeremiah will leave Theo and his family nothing if he receives the rights to his company. Dwight will make sure that they both turn a profit from the company in the interim so that their families can look forward to a prosperous future. Having said that, Dwight and Mitch return home. While having his dinner, Dwight gets a call from Musso, who apparently knows that he has been in conversation with the Montags. Musso ends the call before Dwight can find out more about this source. Regarding Theo, Jeremiah personally pays him a visit to inquire about his willingness to uphold the agreement they had made. At this point, Theo discloses that he has decided to join with Dwight and remove Jeremiah from the situation since he received a greater offer than Jeremiah did. Jeremiah gives Cole and his men the command to murder Theo and set fire to his mansion without hesitation. This hostile takeover will not be warmly received. Dwight will react angrily to Theo's death since he is a sentimental guy. Dwight and Jeremiah are engaged in a rivalry. The one problem is that Dwight is wearing a collar around his neck, which is attached to a leash that Musso is holding. Therefore, it is unclear how much autonomy Musso gives Dwight. Musso will have to remove Musso from the situation if he puts too many restrictions on Dwight because he won't be able to stop Jeremiah from causing a lot of harm. What will happen if he takes on a federal agent, and how would he do that? The next episodes of Tulsa King Season 3 will tell us everything there is to know about it. How do you feel about the show's debut episode? Tell me in the. What are the repercussions of being a federal agent? The next episodes of Tulsa King Season 3 will tell us everything there is to know about it. How do you feel about the show's debut episode? Tell me in the space provided for comments below. At the Montague estate, Dwight, Goodie, Bigfoot, and Mitch go to a yard sale. Without wasting any time, Dwight asks Cole directly if her father is willing to work out a bargain. Theo and Jeremiah have an unofficial agreement that is founded on a common understanding, and Dwight wants to handle the business in a professional manner. It is quickly determined, though, that Theo is simply too afraid to sell his distillery to the highest bidder. When Dwight inquires as to the price that Theo has agreed upon, it appears like Jeremiah is effectively threatening Theo into parting with his cash cow. There is nothing Theo can say. It's not like Jeremiah is unaware of all of this happening right in front of him, by the way. No, in order to monitor any odd activity, he has placed his son, Cole, at the yard sale. Dwight pretends to have made the initial step to persuade Theo to change his mind when Mitch questions